Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Christy Lynn and this is baby Evelyn. She's got the hiccups for today's video. Like normal, right? You always get those hiccups. Today we are going to be talking about her 3-month routine, specifically her nap times and her bedtime routine. I know when she was just turning like 2 or 3 months, I was really trying to figure out what to do with her day. It really helped me a lot to watch other moms' routines just to kind of inspire me for planning her own day and what we could do for her day. So hopefully this one will be helpful to you as well if you have a baby her age and you're wondering what in the world you should do with your baby, or just looking for some new ideas of how maybe to plan her routine. Now I do want to mention we do not follow a strict schedule right now. Actually, I don't really have a schedule at all except for her bedtime, which is at a set time, and we'll talk more about that later. But hopefully this video is helpful to you. I'm going to just tell you exactly what we're doing every day and then some of my best tips that I have learned along the way. If you're new to my channel, I do a lot of different motherhood videos. I also do cleaning and organizational motivational videos, as well as some videos on minimalism. So if that interests you, I hope you'll get subscribed, and let's jump into the video. I found my newborn to at least be very unpredictable, and so trying to schedule her naps, especially her naps, but just trying to schedule her day in general was getting very frustrating for me and causing me a lot of stress because I was constantly having to look at the clock, look at my apps where I was tracking her day, and then constantly having to calculate time. Yeah, it wasn't fostering that loving, nurturing feeling. It was fostering a lot of frustration. And it just, for me, just trying to get a newborn to stick to a schedule, it just really wasn't working for us. My husband works nights, so no 2 days really look the same for us, so that's another thing. So just as soon as I started going with the flow more, especially during those first 3 months, everything got easier and my stress level went significantly down. And yeah, then it was more fostering those feelings of love and nurture and all of that again, so I didn't have to feel that stress of, is she sticking to the schedule, and looking at the clock and spending so much time at her bedside trying to get her to stay napping so that we wouldn't get off the schedule, and then I'd have to recalculate the whole day. So anyways, that's just a little bit of how it went for us. So the first few weeks I didn't really try anything. Then I started to experiment with some scheduling methods. One that you may know of is the eat, play, sleep method. I may make a video on that because that is a very popular one, but I may make a video on why we are no longer doing that. We have multiple reasons for that one. So if you have a setup like ours, or you're just finding that you're getting too frustrated trying to schedule your newborn, just know that that is okay. There's nothing wrong with going with the flow if that is what works better for you. So before I jump into the details of our routine, I do want to say, although I say I'm going with the flow, we do, at this 3-month, almost 4-month mark now, we do have a pretty good routine. Although we don't do things except for bedtime at a set time every day, she's pretty much fallen into a routine that almost does happen around the same time every day. Not that that matters too much, but just know that it might be hard for those first few months, but once you get to about 3 months, she or your baby will kind of settle into a routine of their own, so that does make things a lot more predictable. Okay, so now I'm just going to go over exactly what we do every day, and then at the end I'll share some of my best tips based on my experience. So we start our day around 6 or 7 a.m. That's when she wakes up. She does wake up about 2 times, sometimes 3 times during the night, but typically twice, and then she'll wake up a final time around 6 or 7 in the morning, and she'll be hungry. So I will nurse her, and then we will actually spend that first wake period. If you don't know, newborns or babies in general only have a wake period of about 45 to 60 minutes. She's right around 60 minutes at this point. They can only stay awake for about 60 minutes, or I should say they can only stay awake happily for about 60 minutes, and then they start to get fussy and frustrated, overstimulated, and overtired, and just become difficult. So if you didn't know, it's really important, at least for us, to pay attention to that wake window, and that's really the only thing I ever look at the clock for, is just to see how long she's been awake. But you can also go off of their cues. So she'll start rubbing her eyes, yawning, pulling at her ears. That's a later sign of sleepiness. So I really try to catch her early on when I'm seeing those first yawns or the first rub of an eye. So I don't want her to get too tired. So if I see that and then we're not at the 1 hour mark, it doesn't matter. I go ahead and put her down for her next nap. Anyways, I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. So we wake up around 6 or 7 a.m. and then we wake up slowly. So I put her on our bed and I will play with her for that first 60-minute wake window. Sometimes she gets sleepy earlier. I will prop her up on my knees, or I'll read a book quietly to her, or we'll just look at a book together, because my husband will have just gotten home from work and he'll be sleeping. So we try to keep it quiet. But I'm also really tired, still dealing with some sleep deprivation. So the reason why we stay in the bedroom on the bed for the first hour is because after we've played a little bit, then she'll get sleepy again, and I'll put her right back into her bassinet at our bedside, and then I will go ahead and take a nap with her first nap of the morning. So she'll end up taking a nap probably around 8 o'clock or so, and then I'll take a nap and we'll both get an extra hour of sleep. So that kind of extends your night in a way. So if you're struggling with sleep deprivation, I would highly recommend just don't leave your bedroom for that first wake period and go ahead and nap along with them, and then start your day after that first nap. Okay, so I fed her and put her down for a nap. Then once she wakes up from that nap, we don't feed, which is different than the very popular, like I said, the very popular eat, play, sleep method. So she'll wake up, we will come into the nursery and play or I might make myself breakfast, bring her into the kitchen with me, but whatever, we'll do activities for the next hour. And then as I start to see her getting sleepy and we're coming up on that 60-minute time, I will go ahead and nurse her and then put her down for a nap again. And doing it this way, she hardly fusses at all. Like, I've caught her before she's too tired. I'm not waiting for her to just fall asleep on the floor or in my arms. I'm really proactively seeing that she's getting sleepy. So the most important thing with going with the flow, I think, is paying attention to their sleeping cues and getting them to bed before it's crazy, before they're overstimulated and overtired and then they just can't fall asleep. Okay, so we pretty much repeat that the entire day. So she wakes up from the nap, we do some activities, whether it's playing or something I need to do around the house, putting her in the carrier. We do that for about 60 minutes. She's looking tired. We nurse, put her down for a nap, and then, like I said, repeat that over and over. I don't have to look at the clock so much. All I have to do is pay attention to when she's getting tired and maybe glance, okay, yeah, it's getting close to an hour, so she's about ready for another nap. And that works for us. That works really well for right now. And that ends up that she takes about 3 to 4 naps a day with that setup. And they're usually around the same time. It's all based on when she wakes up in the morning. And so, yeah, it's pretty predictable for me, I feel like, at this point. Now, I will say sometimes, okay, when we get to the last nap of the day, so this is the area where I do have a set schedule in a way. I do have her bedtime set. I try to aim for about 6:30 or 7, at the latest 8 on a bad night when she's just not settling, but usually she will go down by 7 o'clock. So what I do is I try to make sure her last nap of the day is not closer than an hour to her bedtime, which it rarely is. And sometimes she will fight the last nap of the day and she'll just skip it entirely, or she'll take like a 30-minute cat nap. Usually she'll take a nap, but other times she will totally fight that nap and not take it at all, which I'm okay with. She will be a little overtired. She might be awake for 2, sometimes 3 hours if she really skips a nap at the end of the day. And then she does okay though. So I'm okay with her taking a longer wake period at the end of the day. She actually is not too fussy usually at this point anyways. So then around 5:30 or 6, probably about 6 o'clock, I go ahead and start slowing down her day. We do bath time. I have a whole bath routine set up for her. I do bathe her every day because I do want her to understand that this is our routine. The bath comes and then bedtime comes, so that way she can kind of differentiate it from just normal nap time. So we do a bath, I nurse her, and then I will put her down for bed. She's usually a little bit more fussy at nighttime because she knows, I think, that it's bedtime and she wants to keep playing and having fun. But if I do everything right, it goes pretty well. And I'm also not super strict about this either, so if she's having a hard night, I'll spend a little extra time with her just trying to slow her down a little bit, do some quiet, looking at books, maybe reading a book to her. If she's wanting to cluster feed and feed more often, I'll let her do that. Sometimes towards the end of the day she will want to nurse more often, so that's okay. I want her to get her calories in so she'll wake up less during the night. And that is pretty much our entire day. Like I said, she wakes around 2 to 3 times, usually just twice a night. Usually once around 11 or midnight, and then again around 4 in the morning. And then she'll wake up, like I said, about 6 or 7 in the morning for the day. Yeah, so I guess the best tips that I could say is if you're in that newborn stage, just know they can be super unpredictable. And that's okay. If you just kind of go with the flow, at least if you're like me, if you go with the flow, then just know they will settle into a routine as they get towards that 3-month mark. So just kind of hang in there and kind of pay attention to their cues if a schedule is not working for you. Now maybe you have a really easy baby. That I've heard that some babies are just really easy, they go down without a fight. They're not as crazy and alert as mine is, or as mine was at the beginning, so that's great if that works for you. But if not, just know you can go with the flow and then they will settle into a routine around 3 months. My second tip is try not to let them get too overtired. If she gets overtired and overstimulated, she's really hard to put down for a nap. I find that if I put her down at the very first signs of tiredness, she'll go down, sometimes without a fight at all. She may hardly fuss at all, maybe just a tiny bit, and then I just like stroke her nose and soothe her a little bit and she'll go straight to sleep, or at least on a good day. So try to just use that 1 hour wake window as a guide, but don't feel like you have to be super strict to it. If you are noticing your baby is tired earlier, you can put them down earlier. If they're still wide awake at the 1 hour point, maybe they have a larger wake window, so you can go ahead and go off of their sleepy cues and pay attention to what that is for your baby, because it may differ a little bit. Some babies can go up to 1.5 hours without getting tired. Yeah, so if I know she's getting tired at 45 minutes, I'll put her down. If she's not tired yet at 60 minutes, I'll wait it out until she does seem tired. But for the most part, it's usually right on the dot, right around that 60-minute mark, that we are going down for her next nap. Anyways, I hope this video was helpful to you. If you have a newborn or a baby around Evelyn's age, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear about your baby and what you're doing for your day and what works for your routine, or what you're planning to try out. Yeah, if you're new to this channel, I hope you'll consider subscribing, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!